Hello everyone, welcome back to another attacker video. Long time no see. Today I decide to present you a game between Xin and Yang Ding Xin, both 9P professional. So Xin is playing as black and Yang Ding Xin is playing as white in this game. So first I want you to examine the board, right? So on the bottom side we have two very popular Josekis. There's really nothing to talk about. Something we can observe is black has quite a lot of cash on hand, right? This is not a really invadable place for white. And then black also has a very nice two-space extension on the board. So at this point, it seems to us that Yang is under a bit of pressure, right? If you can't really do anything against these two guys, you might be behind in terms of territory because black has quite a lot of profits down here. So now let's look at how Yang decided to attack Xin. White first makes an exchange at E18. Black needs to block because this crawling is really large. And then Yang decided to make a few preparation moves. So this is a very nice idea. Before you go and attack your opponent, you make sure that yourself is very strong, right? If you just without exchanging this and you say, hey, let me start some sort of attack. Well, first of all, you have to watch out because you don't really know who is attacking who when black cuts you off here, right? Your 3 stones might actually get counterattacked. So if you watch my invader videos, you probably know that the first and the most important idea of invading or defending is the idea of counterattack, and it's shown so many times in my videos. So as an attacker, you kind of need to know the principles of invader, right? You know your opponent's going to counterattack you, so you need to make sure you eliminate that before you attack. That's why in the actual game, Yang decided to, before attacking, make these exchanges. So, of course, this is very costly because now black has even more solid territory. But it is necessary because in order to attack these two guys, we have to make these preparations. So, to prevent that, black counterattacks and cut us off. Now we're all nice and beautiful. How can we go ahead and start working on this group, right? Like how can we attack these 2 stones? It looks really hard because if we just go direct moves like this, black can actually just attach to us. This kind of move really doesn't have it's really not a great idea because according to the principles of invading, black wants to exchange as many moves as possible with us. The fact that we're attaching to our opponent is a terrible idea because now black can easily exchange moves, with us. So that's not a great idea. The variations here might be complicated, but the idea is wrong for white. So you might end up lucky because your opponent is bad at reading, and you might actually defeat your opponent with this kind of move. But that's just not the correct move, right? We can't just assume that our opponent cannot read. So at this point, it's a very difficult position actually for white because the direction is not so clear. If you just play moves like this, black can easily hop out. And then once black hops out, you have a cutting point over here. So if you're not careful, there is some problems. Black might immediately counterattack you. And then if you try to, like fix the cutting point, which is a very nice move, I think black has many options. Black is just very comfortable out, and there's no way that you can actually attack this group. Let's see what Yang Ding Xin played in the actual game. So K14. This is just a brilliant move, right? So I really don't expect my viewers to play this kind of moves in your actual games, because this is just way too professional, right? When Yang plays a move like this, I would feel very stressed as black, right? First of all, I cannot hop out from this direction because it gets sealed inside. Second, I just feel like the way out here is very, very limited. So that's not just your feeling, that's the world's #1's feeling, right? Like Xin also felt the same thing. And then he had to Kosumi out. Yang decided to attach. This is a okay move. The reason for this move is not really to exchange moves with his opponent. Rather, this is just try to make black heavy. So this is a very advanced move that I won't go into details. Black exchanged 2 moves. So black here, as Xin, the best move is actually to Tanuki. Maybe letting white extend here. So now black can securely hop out or attach down. So that would be a more or less equal game. Moving on. In the actual game, Xin did not want Yang to gain these profits. So they exchanged 2 moves, and then Yang decided to hop on top, right? So really just capping black inside this narrow valley. And now Xin decided to hop here. So if Xin actually plays this one, Yang is going to defend with this move. And this is still very difficult. So first of all, these moves are challenged tactically. If black plays this one, white can immediately cut, right? Not to say even this kind of move is very, very annoying for black. So if black has to actually play this kind of painful move to connect himself, that's kind of game over, because every single move black plays is inside, generates no points, and every single move that white plays is towards the outside and generates tremendous profits. So at this point, Xin decided to go for a counterattack, right? That's obviously something that Xin knows, right? That when you are in danger, the first thing you need to think about is counterattack. So Xin cuts and then attaches at 0.17. Because if you just run this thing out, white's gonna cap you inside. This will be a bad idea because you don't have a real target to counterattack. White is really strong outside. White is all connected this side. And then you have to figure out how to live here. So that's not a great idea. Xin first created some Aji, and then his real counterattack is to attach at 0.17. And now the fight becomes very fierce, right? Both players made very accurate calculations and decided to go for this variation. So first, white is cut. White is pretty much cut into a group. And after this exchange, white decided to first make this thing alive, right? If he doesn't make this thing alive, let's say he plays something else like this, black can immediately extend. And after this extending, white is not alive anymore. So white had to make sure that he is alive by taking the stone. And then both players decided to go for the most fierce fight. So now black's corner is also dead locally. And black decided to attach. So I think since the calculation is so complicated, Xin actually made some mistakes in the game. Just some reading mistakes, right? Which is, I think, is very normal in such complicated situations. White wedges, and then take back. and then connect here. So if obviously there is a cutting point over here, right? If you play somewhere else, white has this way of cutting this entire group off. So Xin had to actually spend a move, make sure everything is connected. White Ataris, black connects, and then white now connects everything back. And we can tell this is a very hopeless game for Xin from now. After some misread inside here that I'm not exactly sure which move it is, that this becomes super difficult. Atari, and then Xin decided to actually capture this stone. White cuts over here, and then these guys only have 2 liberties. And then after a few exchanges, so here this is very important for white to block at t15. So if white extended here, black actually is going to Atari. When white plays this one, black can connect back. So here the important thing is that when black Atari is here, if white peeps here, black is going to connect at S12. You cannot connect here because white can Atari and then cut the corner off in Sente. But black can play this one. You can play a couple throw-ins, but it won't matter because when you turn here, black is able to make an eye, and there's another eye. So black is alive, and then white obviously cannot block over here. So black is able to connect both groups. That would be a fantastic result for black, actually. Had black tried without crawling here, then it wouldn't work because now white, when you Atari here, white can peep you directly. When you connect here, now white can take. When you play this one, I can throw in. When you take, I can throw in again. And when you take back, when I turn, you only have one eye, right? This eye is gone. So that's a lot of interesting reading, and I found it really interesting tactically. So in the actual game, after crawling here, after crawling this one, white did not respond, which is the correct reading. And black has to honey up. And then when white connects, Xin decided to play this fake Tetsuji. So this doesn't really work because white can play this one. The purpose of this one is the next move, is black tries to hop at J19. He's trying to throw in here at M19. But it turns out that white can actually block this connection. So if white got scared, this would actually be a problem because black can just connect everything back. Although the corner is dead, it might still be a playable game for black because black got this honey. And then this group is secured, so it's still a playable game. However, the worst problem is that Yang can actually block this connection and kill this entire dragon. Here, if black throws in, white is able to turn here. So when black plays this one, white can clamp inside. And then black just does not have enough liberties to fight here. If you play this one, I can play here. You try to go for this, I'm just up by 1 liberty. All right, so there's really not much to do here. If you play this one, I can just play this one. When you connect, I think white can just play this one, and this is actually okay. So if you go for the liberty, this is I kills no I. So white can connect over here, and black cannot throw in. And of course, if black tries to make an I, I think white can just connect, and then still up by 1 liberty. It looks like there's a snapback, but white can take this in Sente. Just doesn't work for black. Black has to connect here first, and then white can take back, and there's no snapback because white has another liberty. So the reading here is very, very interesting. So at this point, Xin struggled for a couple more moves. And then the game continued for a little bit more, but Xin eventually resigned very, very quickly after this, because this is very disastrous. I mean, all what Black got is this, but the corner plus the middle dragon is all dead, so that's a finished game. But today, really not much principles I want to show you guys. I just found this game to be an exemplary attacker game from Yan. The moves that I really liked from this game is, of course, this move, right? Like I don't really want to explain this move too much. I feel like a lot of times, just in general, when you want to improve in Go, a lot of times your improvement comes from very subtle things, right? Like you just watch professional games, you just watch me, talk about some of the games, show you some of the moves, and you start to imitate those moves. You start to imitate those ideas, and you level up automatically without me explaining too much what you should do and stuff. So this is what this kind of move is about, right? Like it's hard to figure it out in the actual game, but when a professional player shows you this move, you're just like, wow, this is such a brilliant move, right? Like any other move that you play, let's say you just off by a little bit, then immediately your opponent has all kinds of counterattack ideas. So this is the perfect move that controls Black. You cannot come out from this direction, and it puts most pressure onto your opponent, right? All of a sudden, it's just gonna gain you a lead in the game, right? Like it's very, very difficult, even without these kind of, this is actual game, but even if you just keep capping your opponent like this, all of his moves are gonna be like useless. It's not making any points, and all of your moves forms tremendous influence towards the center. So that's the first brilliant move. And obviously there's the idea of preparation that I talked about. But then if we look at the process, after a couple exchanges, white caps in here, so very natural flow, right? You obviously don't want to go from this direction because it lets Black out, and then this cannot be controlled anymore. So obviously the correct direction is the cap on top, and then after a few exchanges, all of this is just the correct direction of play. White wants the outside, he wants the profits, and then when the counter attack happens, we just have to go for the reading, we have to go for the fight. We cannot win the game against Xin Seo easily, obviously, because he's the #1 in the world. So we have to go through some fierce and nasty fights. But Yang handled that very, very well. So, but really for us, the viewers, I think this direction of play and this idea, right? The idea behind this move is just brilliant. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoy this game and learn something about attacking. And don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And I will see you in the next video.